Come around and talk it over. So many things that I want.
Thanks so much for coming in for a video today. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to do the Q&A today. I did get some questions posted on my last video. Please excuse my hair, guys. It's wet and a mess. I did get some questions posted on my last Q&A, and I also am going to pick some up from another video that were posted. So the first one that I see here is from Issy Ann, and she says, I started selling on Poshmark. On my first week, I made a sale, but haven't made another sale since, and it's been weeks. I get a lot of likes, but no sales. Follow and share, and I'm always on. What tips can you give me to make more sales? My Poshmark is, and I'll tell you, it's at Issy Ann, ISSYANN, and she has a great shop, Miss. You've got some good pictures on there. I would just suggest that, and you're thorough in your in most of your listings as well. I would suggest that you take things, if you have anything on the floor, including shoes, to elevate them onto, I like to use scarves a lot. I use colorful scarves that will either contrast with the color of whatever it is I'm doing. Let's say if it's shoes and they're black, I'll put a light background on the back, or I've been using a little bit of styrofoam and kind of make a step like they do at the stores. You know how it looks like the shoes are actually stepping out. I also like to stuff the shoes so that they're not all squashed. I do the same thing with handbags. Don't ever picture a handbag that's not stuffed. And I also like to have pictures of someone holding the handbag, because people really like to see the scale. Even though you can post, you know, what size it is and everything, they really want to see how it looks. And I did notice that you did that with some of your pictures. You're modeling some of the clothes, and people like that as well. I would also maybe, if you can, invest in a mannequin. I mean, you can get one of those hanging torso mannequins. That I have one that's super busty. I got her because she was really cheap on eBay, but I use it for a lot of the tight t-shirts, or even like the Hawaiian shirts that I want to kind of transpose or translist for women as well. I use her because she's pretty big. But you can get some really nice ones that are just lightweight plastic, I think for about $20 on eBay, and that would really help sell your shirts. And I don't know if you hung them in front of a closet or not. I usually have an armoire that I hang them in front of, or I have a curtain. I have a pretty neutral shower curtain that I also hang them in front of when I use that hanging mannequin. But that's the only thing I can suggest. You seem to have a really great shop. I would just give it a little bit more time. Continue to share, and of course, I told you guys the last time to share on Instagram and even Pinterest. Do a fashion board on Pinterest. Don't just pin your stuff, because that can get boring. Find some people that you like to follow, pin their things, and intersperse your things here and there, and that really helps the eye as far as resting on professional photos and some that are just sellers. So I would do that, but yeah, I would just suggest taking things off the floor. Don't picture anything on the floor, even a picture of, even shoes. They look a lot better on a wood background, maybe on a tabletop, or as I said, I like to use scarves, satin pillowcases, just anything that will make that item pop. So that's about it, and I think your listings were pretty thorough too. I really like those. I also like to add the fabric content, especially on a blouse or something that you can't tell, that, you know, cotton t-shirts, you know what those look like. But like some people will have button-up shirts, and I can't tell on some pictures, not yours necessarily, but just in general, you can't tell if it's linen, if it's a lightweight fabric, if it's a thick rammy cotton or denim. So just kind of specify that. I've found myself many times asking people what is the fabric content of a dress, because I really want to know you know, how it's going to hold up, if I prefer more structured clothing for myself, and so things like that. So other than that, that's all I can think about, Miss Issy Ann. Thank you so much for your question. Please ask me any more questions if you have any, and let me look on here and see if there's anything else. Okay, from Guillermo M. He says, I'm loving all your videos. Thank you for all your knowledge and tips. How fast do you ship an order? The very next day, or 2 to 3 times a week. I try to ship the next day, but sometimes it's hard to go to the post office when you have to work or something comes along and takes up your time. I know that's right. I've been selling on Etsy and Poshmark mostly because of you. Thanks for your great advice. Oh, that's fabulous to hear. Thank you so much. I do ship as soon as I possibly can. Yesterday I sold something on eBay, And I sold it early in the morning. I was headed out, so I decided to go ahead and package it up and ship it that same day. When I used to do a lot of auctions, I would ship on Fridays, and I would put that on my listing that the listing would end on Sunday. I would give everyone till that, whatever time it was to pay up. And then I would ship on that Friday or at the end of that week, however that worked out. I already forgot. But I haven't been doing auctions that much lately. But I don't wait more than 2 days to ship. And usually it's the very next day, especially on Amazon. They're so fussy about that. They really want their items shipped immediately. And so does eBay for that matter. Even if you print out the label, it will say shipped, but they want it clicked and cleared by the post office the very next day. So I do that as well. Okay, next one. I think that was the only one on here. I did get some on my Poshmark sale, so I'm going to look on there. Someone asked about my closet name on Posh. It is at Golden Hangers. Tracy Stokes, thank you so much for your question, Miss Tracy. Thank you so much for your interest. The Poshmark closet is at Golden Hangers, one word. Okay, Miss Stokes also asked me about selling children's clothes. And I don't sell too many children's clothes unless I were to walk in, into a store and there was this obvious designer get up there that couldn't fit any of my grandchildren. I would very likely, if it was cheap, I would very likely pick it up and put it on eBay. People on eBay know what they're looking for. They like the designer brands for their kids. Because they're so expensive, you can get them for a fraction of the cost, of course, on eBay. But I've also heard that there's a lot of Facebook groups that do children's clothes. Search for that on your Facebook groups. You can sell locally. I've also heard people talk about the Instagram. Many people are using their Instagram directly as a sales link. And I think I saw one today that liked one of my pictures. And she said everything that's pictured is for sale at her Poshmark closet. So she's got that link at the top. And I don't think that each picture has a link to go directly to buy it. But I know some people are doing that already. So that's what I would do. I would search on Instagram. That is one of the great places out there. And if you can get into, their hashtags or tag their things, I think you could really find a good niche there. And of course, Poshmark, you can also sell clothing for children as well. Macari is another one. If you guys haven't tried Macari, you're really losing out. I find it a great place to buy. I haven't sold anything myself. I have about 8 things on there, but I've got so many other things going on that I kind of have been neglecting it. But it is a great place with no charges whatsoever for listing or commissions. So it's great. All right, and then I got Paro or Pero. I hope I'm saying that right. Says, love your videos. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. If possible, could you please show the process you use in preparing shipping your high-end bags, or link a video if you have already made one? And actually what I linked for her was my birthday unboxing of my Louis Vuitton, because I thought that was a perfect transaction for a high-end bag. Not only did she accept my offer, a pretty substantial decrease. Perfect transaction, because not only did she accept the offer, but when it got here, and she followed up with letting me know exactly when it was coming, giving me the tracking number. She sent it UPS, and so I knew exactly where it was day to day. I think it took about 5 days to get here. It took a little while, but I knew exactly where it was. It arrived in a Louis Vuitton box. I know not everyone can get a Louis Vuitton box, but it arrived. And when you're spending a good deal of money on a bag, you appreciate that. Even if you can't get a Louis Vuitton box, if you can get a department store box and then double box it, I would always, something that expensive, I would double box it. Put it in a cardboard box as well. Before you put it in that cardboard box, get yourself a nice little thank you card. Get yourself some nice tissue, wrap it up, put a nice gold seal on it or something, and make it look like something valuable, because it is. You valued it, they bought it, make it look that way. That's all I can say about that. And don't forget to insure it. If you're putting out something out there that you cannot afford to lose, by all means insure it for loss and damage, because I can't tell you how I've received a few damaged items from eBay. One of them was glass, and I took a picture, and the lady was kind enough to immediately give me a refund. But things happen even when you least expect it. I had bought the, I forget the name of that huge hobo that I wanted so badly last year, but it took 14 days to get here. And the lady sent it 2-day priority, and it took 14 days or more. I think I made a video about it. We did the unboxing. It arrived damaged, and I took pictures of that box and sent them to her because I know she took great pains to send it to me, you know, as best as she could. Now, she did not double box it. She just put it in a priority box. She probably could have boxed it a little bit better where it wouldn't have sustained that damage. I don't know, because it was not double boxed, and it did have like a dent on the side. It was crushed. It only had one strip of tape on it. So now that I think about it, I think she could have done a little bit better. I put so much tape on my boxes, guys, you wouldn't believe it. And because you just never know, your package could, right now I'm waiting on a pair of shoes that haven't come back from a transaction I did. And she hasn't received them, and and a long story. Okay, but anyway, what I'm saying is the post office system messes up quite often. And this box was supposed to arrive in 2 days. Took 14 days, arrived damaged, and the purse was damaged. She lost out on a lot of money because I had to send it back. She accepted it as a refund and refunded my money. I lost out because the bag it was in perfect condition. Other than that, and I had gotten a great deal on it. She had accepted an offer on it. So other than that, that's all I can say for shipping your luxury items, handbags, anything. Make sure they're packaged as their luxury, as you would want to receive a luxury item that you spent money on. You would want it wrapped in tissue. You would want a nice thank you card in there. You would want it in a regular pretty box, and then double box it into a post box. And that's all I can say. And of course, insure it, because you never know. It may get lost, it may get damaged, or both. And so that's all I can say there, guys. I think that is the end of my Q&A. That's all I saw. I really appreciate you putting your questions in the comment section of my last video. Please do so on this video as well in the comment section down below. Post the questions about reselling or anything else you may have in your little head, and let me know what you're thinking, all right? Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great holiday. Still in 4th of July mode here with my little scarf. I love my little Echo scarf. I showed it to you in a haul, I believe. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Bye.
Come around and talk it over. So many things that